Hello dear students, welcome again in chemistry class. I hope that all of you healthy and safe and also following the SMS rule. Okay, that means maintaining the social distancing, wear the mask, and also you have to sanitize your hand when you touch your face. Are getting this point or not? So now in today's lecture I will discuss about part 10 of unit 2 solution. In this part I told you the last colligative property, that is osmotic pressure. In previous lecture I told you that 4 colligative property we have to know that. So 3 I have discussed already. Now here I discuss about osmotic pressure, which are basically related to the solution. So before discussing the osmotic pressure, just you have to know the about osmosis and one more thing, that is diffusion. How we can differentiate between the diffusion and osmosis. So here the osmosis came from Greek word osmos. Meaning of this is to push. Are you getting this point or not? The meaning of this is to push. And the osmosis was first time observed by A.B. Knowlton. So first observed by A.B. Knowlton. Now what is meaning of osmosis? Here the movement of solvent particles, that means only and only solvent particles are moved in case of osmosis through a membrane, that is known as semi-permeable membrane. So through a SPM, that is known as semi-permeable membrane. So that means the movement of solvent particles from their higher concentration to their lower concentration, or you can say that the movement of solvent particles from lower concentration of solution to higher concentration of solution is known as osmosis. Are getting this point or not? Are getting this point or not? Here one more thing I told you that about the SPM. SPM means semi-permeable membrane. This membrane only allow solvent particles. Only allow solvent particles. Okay. The common membranes are parchment paper, PICS, bladder, animal and vegetable membranes, cellophane. Okay. Some more membranes are there, can be used copper ferrocyanide, calcium phosphate. These are some membranes which are used as semi-permeable membrane. Out of this, one artificial SPM, that is copper ferrocyanide, is used. One SPM, that is copper ferrocyanide. This is a type of artificial SPM. Are getting this point or not? This is artificial SPM. Okay. This is frequently used as SPM because it can be stable with a high pressure. So that's why one question arises from the SPM, that he named the SPM which are used frequently, that is copper ferrocyanide, because it can withstand with a high pressure. So these are all about the SPM. Membranes may be permeable. Permeable means allow all the particles to pass, but in case of SPM they only pass to the what you can say solvent molecules. Just look at here, one example is there. How we can show that about the osmosis. Here one SPM are given, SPM. Are getting this point or not? Here we taken 100 ml of water. This is the A containers. Okay. Here we taken 100 ml of water. Just you can say that here we taken the 90 ml of water and 10 gram of sugar. Are getting this point or not? So one question arises. Okay, now the movement of water take place from A to B or B to A. So look at here 100 ml of water, here 90 ml of water. Okay, so water is less. In that condition, you can say that the movement of water take place from A to B, because the solvent molecules move from their higher concentration to their lower concentration. Are getting this point or not? So one more question arises. It may be the container say it is sweet in taste. So no, because no solute particles, that is sugar, move from B to A. Are getting this point or not? This can also taken like this. So one membrane is put up here, that is SPM. Are getting this point or not? Now again we have taken 100 ml water and plus 10 gram glucose. Okay, here we taken 100 ml of water and plus 20 gram of glucose. This is containers A, this is containers B. Okay, so now both are in the form of solution, but look the condition: 10 gram solute, 20 gram solute. So that's why this is higher concentration of solution, this is lower concentration of solution. So again the solvent particles move from lower concentration of solution to the higher concentration of solution. That means from A container to the B through a membrane. That's why this is known as osmosis. So these all about the osmosis. Are you getting this point or not? Now let us focus on the osmotic pressure. So look at here about the osmotic pressure. So this is basically the pressure exerted toward the solution side to just prevent the flow of solvent molecules from their higher concentration to lower concentration. It is known as osmotic pressure. So look at here. Again, one scheme is there. Okay. Now here we taking the solution and here we taking the solvent. Okay. So now what happens? Previously the solvent molecules we taken containers A, B. Now the solvent molecule move towards this side. Any doubt here? Due to osmosis. Now we want to stop the movement of solvent from A to the B to the A. In that condition, what we have to do that? So now we have to put the pressure P. That means pi. Okay, which are basically, that means we can apply the pressure toward the solution side. Now what happens here? This prevents the flow of solvent molecule. Okay, so that pressure which are applied toward the solution side to just prevent the flow of solvent molecule is known as osmotic pressure. So for osmotic pressure, we use symbol pi here. Okay, now the pi is basically directly proportional to what? Concentration. And that's why we can say that what is pi is, that means osmotic pressure is colligative property. Okay, so we get one formula that is known as pi equal to CRT. Here C denotes what? Molarity, that is number of mole divided by volume of solution in liter. So that's why we can write this formula like this: N by V in liter RT. Here T is temperature in Kelvin. Okay, R is known as universal gas constant. And this is equal to, we have taken here 0.0821 liter atm per Kelvin per mole, or you can take in 0.083 liter bar per Kelvin per mole. Are getting this point or not? Yet don't try to write the 8.314. Okay? In case of pressure, you have to put the value of R in term of pressure like this. Are getting this point or not? Here any number of mole of solute. So this you can written like this also. Pi equal to N2 divided by V RT. N2 means the number of mole of solute. So by this way we can calculate the osmotic pressure. Are you getting this point or not? Now some more point regarding the osmotic pressure. Just you have to know that the osmotic pressure method has advantage over the other method of calculation of molar mass of solute. This is because one thing, the pressure measurement occurs at the room temperature. Second thing, here molarity are used in place of molality, and you know that molarity depend upon the temperature. Okay, and that's why molarity also depend upon the volume. So if the temperatures are changed, the volumes are changed. So that's why this is very good method for determination of molar mass of solute. Okay, in respect to other colligative properties. So one question may be asking from here, why the osmotic pressure method is better than other method of other colligative property method. So this is the reason, because molarity are used in place of molality and pressure measurement around room temperature. One more thing you have to know, that osmotic pressure is equal to hydrostatic pressure. Okay, hydrostatic pressure, and this is equal to, you know that na, HdG. H is the height, D is the density, and G gravity. So by this way we can also calculate the osmotic pressure in case of where height is given also. Now let us focus on the numericals related to osmotic pressure. So look at it. What is the questions are given here? 200 centimeter cube of an aqueous solution. Aqueous means the solution made in the water. Okay, of the proteins. What the proteins? It is the building block of body. That means the pairing of the body occurs also due to the proteins. Okay, and protein is the basically found by amino acid. So this proteins you have to know in chapter 14 biomolecules. So now 1.26 gram of proteins. The osmotic pressure of solution at 300 Kelvin is found to be 2.57 × 10⁻³ bar. Now you have to calculate the molar mass of protein. Are getting this point or not? So now, how we can solve this type of questions? So first of all, we have to find the molar mass of solute, and you know that the formula is phi equal to CRT, and this is equal to N divided by V RT, and we know that N is mass by molar mass. So we can write like this: W2 M2 into volume R into T. So now we have to find the M2. So that's why we can write like this: M2 equal to W2 into R into T, and divide by what? Volume into pi. That is osmotic pressure. Are getting this point or not? Now putting the values up. Okay. Now you can put all these values. So look at here. Here 200 centimeter cube means this is the ml. So volume given ml, 200 ml. Now convert into liter. So now this becomes 0.200 liter. Okay. The value of R here, we have taken the bar, the region. Here the pressure given the bar. So that's why we have to take the value of R 0.083 liter bar per Kelvin per mole. Are getting this point or not? Now putting these values, temperature given Kelvin, so no need to change this. Now we can write like this: W2 given how much? 1.26 gram multiplied R is given 0.083 and temperature given 300 Kelvin. Sir. And divide by so now then volume given 0.200 liter and pi given 2.57 into 10⁻³ So now by putting this value we can get the final answer is 61,022 gram per mole. So by this way you have to calculate the molar mass by using osmotic pressure formula. Are you getting this point or not? One thing you have to focus that what value you have to put for R in bar or ATM. So this you know from the value of pressure. Okay, maybe one question arises, molarity may be given to you, temperature given the centigrade. So here you have to change the temperature into degrees centigrade to the Kelvin, and that's why you have to put this Kelvin in the formula of osmotic pressure. And by using this formula you can calculate osmotic pressure also. So only this formula you have to use. Either you can find the M2 molar mass of solute, either maybe as the mass of solute, either maybe as the number of mole of solute, either maybe as the pressure. So whatever the asking in the examination, you have to use this type of formula. And the procedure to solve the question is like this. One more thing you know that in board examinations, half marks will be deducted for the unit. So that's why you have to put the unit also, that is gram per mole. Are you getting this point or not? So these are all about the osmotic pressure. Nowadays students, so now some more points regarding the requirement of chapter. So that is isotonic solution. Isotonic is also you can say that isoosmotic. Isoosmotic. Okay. Second, you can know that hypertonic. And third, you can know that hypotonic. Hypotonic. So what is meaning of isotonic? Iso means same, tonic means pressure. Here, pi1 equal to pi2. In that condition, you can write like this: N1 divided by V1 equal to N2 divided by V2. If the volumes are same, in that condition you can write N1 equal to N2. And we know that what is N1 into W1 by M1 equal to W2 by M2. So sometimes one question arises from here. The isotonic solutions are given here, and maybe as the one mass and molar mass may be given. The mass of second solution they may be asked in the board examinations. Are you getting this point or not? So these are about the isotonic. So then general example is 0.91% W by volume NaCl solution. This is the isotonic with the blood. So that's why the normal saline solution, okay, which we are injecting in the veins, in case of that the drips are given to the veins, and the drips, that means normal saline solutions contains 0.91% weight by volume NaCl, and this is isotonic with the blood. So that's why nothing is happening to the body. Okay. Now what happens with the hypertonic? So these are about the isotonic. So isotonic means same concentration. So just like if you putting the blood cell, okay, this is the blood cell. You can say RBC, okay, and this is the isotonic solution. In that condition, the blood cell neither swell, neither shrink. That means nothing is going on in the blood cells. Okay. Now what happens the hypertonic? Hypertonic means higher osmotic pressure than particular solution. In that condition, what happens here? In case of hypertonic, so just think that this is the RBC, okay, and this is hypertonic solution. Hypertonic solution. In that condition, what happens? You know that if the flow of solvent molecule from RBC to the outside of the solution. In that condition, what happens? After some time, now the RBC shrinks. So here, what happens? Shrinking of RBC take place. Shrinking of RBC take place. So that's indicate that here X osmosis take place. X osmosis means the flow of solvent molecule from inside to the outside. Are getting this point or not? Now look about the hypotonic. In that condition, we are taking the shrinkage cell, and the solution is hypotonic. In that condition, what happens? The entry of water into the cell, and the resultant conditions are like this. Now they swell. So swelling takes place. Okay. So the common example is reagents. If you take the reagents and put in the water, in that condition, now reagents are swell. And if the grapes, you can put up in the sugar solution, now the grapes shrink. So these are two examples of hypotonic and hypertonic. Are you getting this point or not? So by this we can know about the hypertonic and hypotonic. Now the last point you have to know that reverse osmosis. RO, you have listened so many times that the water guard, that is aqua guard or water purifiers which we have in the houses. So they always this is the RO system. So RO system is reverse osmosis. So now what happens here? Now in osmosis what happens? The movement of solvent molecules take place from higher concentration to the lower concentration. Okay. Now this is again SPM. Or here what happens? The solvent molecules. Solvent. Or here what is? Solution. So now solvent molecules move toward the solution due to osmosis. When we apply the what? Osmotic pressure to the solution side, in that condition what happens? The movement of solvent particles what? Stop. But what happens if we apply the pressure more than osmotic pressure? In that condition what happens? The movement of solvent particles from solution to solvent takes place. That means this is the solvent molecule. Now here move from their lower concentration to the higher concentration, that is from impure to the pure form. So that's why the reverse process takes place of osmosis. So that's why this is known as reverse osmosis. Are you getting this point or not? So these are about the reverse osmosis. One applications are asking the board examination to desalination of seawater. That means we can desalinize the seawater. Okay, that means the seawater now converted to the pure water. Okay, so this is a type of reverse osmosis. So these all about the today's lecture. So one thing you have to know that osmotic pressure, one thing you have to know about the osmosis. Okay, one more thing you have to know that the difference between the diffusion and osmosis. So first of all, the basic difference between them is osmosis required SPM, but diffusion required no SPM. Are you getting this point or not? Second thing, in osmosis what happens? Only and only the solvent molecules are moved. But in case of diffusion, both solvent and solute can move. You can take in one example. You can put some copper sulfate into the water. Okay. After some time, what you have to see that? Now the copper sulfate mixed to the whole solution, and now solution become blue. So that's the example of diffusion. Are you getting this point or not? So these are some basic important points regarding the lecture 10, that is part 10. So now, till now, you have to know the chapter 2 solution. This is the last topic of this chapter. Okay. So hence, I advise you that go through the NCERT book. Okay. Go through the sheet, see the video lectures, and also try to do all the questions related to the topics. Thank you, dear students. Have a nice day.